Every murder investigation begins with a question. But some begin with a mystery so carefully constructed that even seasoned detectives struggle to determine whether a crime has actually occurred. On the evening of October 16th, the sun slipped below the horizon over the quiet city of Cedar Ridge, Missouri. Families gathered around dinner tables. Children rode bicycles through tree-lined neighborhoods. Traffic thinned as commuters headed home after another ordinary workday. Nothing about that evening hinted that it would soon become the most talked-about criminal investigation in the city's history. At 8:27 p.m., a passing truck driver noticed a black luxury SUV parked on the shoulder of an isolated stretch of Highway 48. It wasn't unusual for drivers to stop there to answer a phone call or check directions, so he continued on his way. The vehicle remained there all night. By sunrise, a state trooper pulled over to investigate. The engine was cold. The headlights were off. The doors were locked. Inside, the driver's wallet rested neatly in the center console. His expensive wristwatch lay on the passenger seat. The keys were still in the ignition. There were no signs of a struggle, no broken glass, no footprints leading into the nearby woods. It looked as though the driver had simply vanished. Then a crime scene technician leaned into the driver's seat. Wedged deep into the stitching was a tiny, dried stain. Blood. The laboratory would later confirm that it belonged to Michael Carter, one of Cedar Ridge's most respected criminal defense attorneys. But there was one terrifying problem. Michael Carter was nowhere to be found. No body, no witnesses, no ransom demand, no explanation, only silence. And sometimes, silence tells the darkest story of all. To understand what happened to Michael Carter, investigators first had to understand the man himself. At 42 years old, Michael had spent nearly 2 decades building a reputation that few attorneys could match. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't arrogant. He simply believed every person deserved someone willing to fight for them in court. Colleagues admired his discipline. Judges respected his professionalism. Clients trusted him with the worst moments of their lives. But none of those titles mattered when he walked through the front door of his home. There, he was simply dead. His wife, Emily Carter, often teased him about bringing work home. "You've defended half this city," she'd laugh. "Now defend yourself against helping with the dishes." Michael would grin, loosen his tie, and surrender without argument. Their 12-year-old daughter, Sophie, adored him. Every Friday, no matter how busy he became, Michael left the office early enough to take Sophie out for burgers and milkshakes. No phone calls, no meetings, no interruptions, just father and daughter. Friends described the Carters as the family everyone wished they could be. Their home was warm, their marriage appeared solid, their future looked secure, which is why no one, not friends, neighbors, or even detectives, could imagine who would want Michael Carter dead. But perfect lives rarely remain perfect for long. During the weeks leading up to his disappearance, subtle changes began creeping into Michael's routine. Changes so small that almost no one noticed them. He started staying late at the office. He changed the passwords on every computer he owned. He carried legal files home that normally remained locked inside his office. Twice, co-workers saw him end phone calls the moment someone entered the room. When asked if everything was all right, Michael smiled politely. "Just a complicated case," he'd say. "Nothing more." Emily noticed something different. One evening, she found Michael standing alone on the back porch long after midnight. He wasn't reading. He wasn't working. He was simply staring into the darkness. "You okay?" she asked. Michael hesitated before answering. "Have you ever realized that sometimes knowing the truth can be dangerous?" Emily laughed nervously. "What kind of question is that?" He forced a smile. "Forget I said anything. It would be the last honest conversation they ever shared." Thursday, October 16th, began like every other workday. Michael arrived at his downtown law office just before 8 o'clock. Security cameras captured him greeting the receptionist with his usual smile. He attended meetings, reviewed case files, met with clients. Nothing seemed unusual. At lunch, he joined 2 colleagues at a nearby cafe. They joked about football, one noticed Michael checking his phone every few minutes. At 4:52 p.m., he received a message. No one knows what it said. Witnesses only remembered that after reading it, his expression changed. The smile disappeared. He quietly excused himself and returned to his office. He remained there alone until 6:37 p.m. Security footage showed him leaving the building carrying a single leather briefcase. He declined an invitation to grab dinner with coworkers. "I've got somewhere I need to be." Those would become the last confirmed words anyone heard him speak in person. Minutes later, he stopped at his favorite coffee shop. The barista remembered him because he ordered the exact same thing every Thursday. One black coffee, no sugar, no cream. He thanked her, smiled politely, and walked back outside. At 7:43 p.m., Emily received one final text. "Running a little late. Don't wait for dinner. Love you both." She smiled. It wasn't unusual. She placed Michael's dinner in the oven to keep it warm. Then she helped Sophie finish her homework. Neither of them realized Michael Carter would never walk through that front door again. As the Carter family waited for Michael to come home, miles away, someone was already making sure he never would. By the time the first missing person report was filed, the murder plot had already entered its final stage. To be continued in Part 2.